Hey everybody, Vicky Fitch here, your direct sales expert. I am coming to you live from sunny Southern California. I am so excited to be here. You guys know the wait is over. This is season 2 of Do You Neo. And if you're new here, Do You Neo stands for Need Extra Opportunities. Right now, during COVID and the craziness, everything that's going on, most people are struggling a little bit. They're struggling financially, they're struggling emotionally, some physically, and we want to help you. That's what this show's here for. So while people are pouring in, I want you guys to do me a favor, put your name in the chat box so we can give you a shout out. I want you to hit the share button. As you know, people need to know how to figure out their finances. People need to know that there's hope. People need to know that we have an opportunity to change people's lives. So today on the show, I have a great guest, Mr. Tim Wright, and we will be talking to him in a little bit. But I wanted to start off talking about the emotions that people are going through right now. And again, if you are new to the show, the Do You Neo show is all about needing extra opportunities. During COVID-19, some people ended up finding that they were kind of buried underneath, pain and regret and stress and overwhelm, not sure what to do, which direction to turn. They weren't sure how to move forward. And so we started with our sponsor and delivering value each week on how you could start earning income now, how you can make a turn for the best to do a side hustle or change your income stream so you would be prepared and wouldn't be caught in an even more difficult situation. Now, none of us know what's going to happen with with lockdowns and what's happening in the world. But what we can do is be proactive about our personal finances, right? And so we want to talk about how we can help you to become the best version of yourself. And I mean, isn't that what we all want anyway? So if you guys would do me a favor, we're trying to make sure our broadcast stuff is working. Put your name in the chat box. If you guys are coming in from a group, you probably know it's just going to have a little logo up there for me. It's going to say Facebook user, and it won't tell me who's here. So if you would do that, and then you guys on Periscope, you know that your names don't hang out there. So if you guys would put your name in the chat, I would appreciate that as well, because I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge that you're here. I want you to hit that share button because we want to help as many people as we can. All right, so today's show is going to be all about focusing on your financial future. Now, put a 1 in the chat box. Hey, Kanda, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Margaret, Mark, John, Joe. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how we start kind of moving forward, and I want to address a couple things. Now, number one, you guys know I wrote a book, right, called Evict the Bully in Your Head. And I bring this book up because I find that in times like this, that the big 3 bullies, if you've read the book, fear, doubt, and shame, create a tension and an overwhelm and an anxiety inside us that we're not quite sure how to handle. We're not sure how we drive that out. We're not sure how to bring it back in. We're not sure what to do with it. And so we hang on to it and we don't tell people what's going on. Hey, welcome. Hey, Lo. Hey, Mark. I think that's a Joanne. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. Thanks for being here. That we don't know what to do. And we don't want to tell anybody that we're struggling. We don't want to tell anybody that we lost our job or our company's not coming back and we didn't have enough in savings to get us through this point. Or we don't know what to say or what to do. We know we need a side hustle. We know we need to bring in some income, but we're not sure how to do it. And we don't know what next action steps to take. So if you didn't see the show last season, we had the 12 episodes bringing you incredible value from top experts around the world in areas of digital marketing and different ways you could do things. We have a lineup of guests this year that will help you to do the same kind of thing too. One of them is how you can instantly make money doing things with books. And one of them, it has to do with you doing some social media management, creating content for other people, writing. And today's guest, like I said, Tim Wright, is going to be teaching us about getting out of debt. And I don't know if I'm not even going to make you. I was going to say, put a 2 in the chat box if you have ever experienced debt in your life. But the chances are 99% on, hey, R. Campbell, welcome to the broadcast, that we have, right? Because debt is part of life. It's part of society. It's part of, what drives us. And, my son, Elijah, just turned 18 and he's gotten like 16 credit applications. Thanks, Kenda. He's got 16 credit applications. He just turned 18. I mean, we're talking about the minute you're legal, they start sending you Oh, we want to take care of your school loans. We want to do this. We want to do that. So the world is geared around us getting into debt. It's not geared around us staying out of debt. And so we've kind of start structuring our life. Hey, Stacy DePolo, girlfriend, I haven't seen you forever. Welcome to the broadcast. We start structuring our life around what we can afford per month instead of how do we want to live and then move forward? How do we want to take ourselves and crush debt and build wealth, which is what Tim's going to share, some stuff with us today. So as I was talking about evict the bully in your head, um, people are afraid to tell their friends or family or to look for another job or a side hustle because they don't want to be judged, right? Put a 3 in the chat box if you've ever been judged. It doesn't even matter what it's been for, whether it's finances, choices, social media posts, your position on politics. I don't care what it is. Put a 3 in the chat box if you've ever been judged because how crappy that feels, right? Judgment sucks. That's all I'm going to be really blunt. Judgment sucks when people are judging us because none of us want to feel like we're not enough. And you guys know in Evict the Bully in Your Head, we talk about the You Are Enough Global Initiative. Well, we do need to be comfortable with who we are. And if you remember from that book, we talk about your internal value has nothing to do with your external circumstances. And I want you to hear this because when people talk about debt, remember, I'm a business consultant. I've been counseling and helping people for many, many years. And I usually see one of two things. One is, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I want to get away from this topic because it's really uncomfortable. Or people, kind of throw other people on the bus. Melanie, welcome to the broadcast. Anna, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Again, if you haven't hit that share button, please hit the share button because today's show is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I know you guys are going to love it. Yes, I did. Many of you are asking. I did start the show yesterday, reminding you guys that I was going to do a show at 11:30 every day. The Thursday show is the Do You Neo show. You get to win prizes today. You also get to have special guests, and you can still ask your questions. So make sure you drop them in the chat box. Put your name. Let's engage with me here so we can provide you the best value. Now, feel free to ask questions for a friend or for a friend. Ask us about things that might help you because we want to talk to you not only how to get out of debt, but also there is a business opportunity with UFinancial. And since we all know there's a lot of people that we know that are in debt, the best thing we could do is to help them. And if we can show you how, if Tim can present to us how we can open that door without people feeling uncomfortable, right? And that's why we want to remember that we never want to approach this with judgment, fear, doubt, or shame on ourselves or judgment about other people or being fearful that other people are judging us. When you have a neutral position and just recognize that you're really cool just the way you are. Like I said, the You Are Enough Global Initiative is all about you accepting you. And let me tell you, people, if you made mistakes, it's okay. Bruce Himmelblah's in the house. Welcome, you guys. I really appreciate it. It's okay. Don't try and hide it. If you filed bankruptcy, don't hide it. If you're going through bankruptcy, you don't have to tell the people in the chat. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm saying hold your head up high. I call it no chin dippers, right? And one of the books, I can't even remember which one since we wrote those 13 actually last year, that people go like this. They hold their head in shame when they don't want to, when they feel like they've made a mistake or they don't want to do something. And I want to say no chin dippers. We're going to hold our head up high as we talk about how to focus on our financial future. How do we crush debt? Because we've all had it. Dave Ramsey's a really great example. Dave Ramsey, if you haven't read his book, I'm trying to remember which one it was in, probably in all of them, where he talks about how he got himself up to his eyeballs in debt and he was still driving I think it was a Jaguar, that he got a friend to actually co-sign for him because he just couldn't let go of his pride. Pride is also a bully, if you guys don't know. And we don't want to have pride, or not pride, that kind of pride, not pride that stops us from becoming the best version of ourselves. Sometimes we just have to pivot, right? And pivoting, I call it course correction, is just that it is what it is. It's an adjustment of course so you can become the best version of you. If you're drowning in debt and you're stressed out, maybe you got to make some changes that are uncomfortable, but that doesn't change your value. Stop worrying about what other people think and start worrying about how you can be debt-free and stress-free. Now put a 3 in the chat box if that sounds pretty good to you. Put a 3 in the chat box if that sounds good to you. Let's see. Anna says they had so many credit card applications back in college, is downright predatory. I would definitely use the word predatory. An 18-year-old doesn't know any better. And you know what Elijah said? Because he was getting a new computer. We were buying him one for his 18th birthday, but he wanted a gaming computer. So he wanted to go from what we were doing and spend a lot more money. And so I told him, you can. He goes, oh my gosh, look, Mom, I can finance it now. That was his thought because he didn't understand. He doesn't understand. And that gave me an opportunity to go, oh, let's talk about that. We don't want to finance it. You want to stay within your means, right? And again, this is not any kind of judgment for anybody. This is just helpful advice. You get to do whatever you want. This program Tim's going to help you with is going to help you either way. Plus, like I said, there's a financial opportunity for you to help others, including yourself. So let's just remember that. Now I'm going to bring Tim on in 1 second. I'm going to read these. Yes. Anna says, ooh, prizes. So hit the share button for the prizes. Bruce says, I've gotten rid of all my credit cards except the very first one I got when I was in college. Excellent, Bruce. Moderate debt, nothing crazy, paying down the house a bit at a time. Anna, you're going to be so excited because this helps you pay even your house off in 1/3 or 1/2 of the time, half of a third of the time. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Kenda. Thank you so much. Okay. So I had some other things I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I think without further ado, I'm going to, Mr. Tim Wright he's got an amazing story, but I'm just going to kind of bring him on. We're going to have a little chat about what's happening, why this stuff is happening and how we can actually help other people. Sorry, I'm trying to take something off because I know I got that thing that's going to be in the background when he pops in. And but he's an amazing guy. I can't wait to bring him on. So without further ado, Mr. Tim Wright from UFinancial. Woo!
Well,
okay.
What an introduction that was. Thank you.
Right?
Wow.
You go ahead and don't look behind the curtain. I'm trying to take that banner off. There we go. All right.
No, it's all good from here. I can hear you fine. I can see you fine. Thank you so much for having me on today. This is great.
I am so excited about it, Tim. And the UFinancial program is got such an impact. Anna is, as a matter of fact, mortgages are such a big thing that we're going to definitely chat about those. But she's 22 years in on a 30-year mortgage. So we're definitely keep that in the right. It is fantastic. And imagine, Anna, right? Anna, imagine if you could get that paid off in like 2 years. Like, wouldn't you do like the freaking happy dance? Now, I'm not saying that can happen. I'm saying we're going to talk to Tim about it, but that it's our opportunity to look at things just a little bit different. And so if you guys have not hit the share button yet, I'm asking you to do a girl a favor. And it's not this girl that you're doing the favor. It's those other girls and guys that you're sharing it out to. Because again, this is a tricky topic and, just helping people to help other people. Sometimes they can't quite say, yeah, I could really kind of use that conversation. But remember, it's not just about crushing debt. It's about building wealth. And that's what we want to talk about. So Tim, tell us a little bit about UFinancial, what it is and how it is that it can help them without them having to change their lifestyle and, and do all the things that everybody else dreads or use those dreaded, what do you call them? The companies that say they're going to help you with your credit cards and then they tank your credit
consumer credit counseling and debt consolidation companies. And you see them everywhere on TV, on the radio, on the internet. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Let me just say, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, you're so welcome.
You're great. I've followed you here and what you do is just amazing. So for all of you guys that are out there watching Vicky on a daily, weekly basis, I think you're doing great work. Keep it up. I love your book. So if you haven't read that, definitely read that. Let me just say this too. I'll just tell you, I kind of wear things on my sleeve here. One of my most favorite things to do. Okay, I got a lot of hobbies. I got 5 kids. I live in Texas. I'm 51 years old. A little bit about me. I know a lot of kids. Maybe right below my kids and my wife. One of my most favorite things to do is to help people get out of debt. And it's actually much easier than you think. Now, is it quick? Is it, I can do it in 1 day, a month, 1 year? No, there is a discipline behind it. But if you do the discipline, if you do the work, you can get out of debt. And it is so exciting to help people get out of debt. In fact, it's such an issue in our country. Vicky, we have $27 trillion in debt. Our country is 20 trillion of that is personal debt. $20 trillion. Think about this. You and I and everybody else.
Too many zeros. My head hurts.
It's 12 zeros, by the way, if anybody was keeping track. I've done the math on it. 12 zeros. 1.7 in student loan debt. And some of you that are watching this right now, I guarantee you have student loan debt. And you will carry that into our 30s, 40s, and even 50s. paying 6, 7, 8% interest rates. $1 trillion in credit card debt.
Mm.
Okay. Mortgage loans represent the most of the debt, and a lot of you that are on this call have that. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about how UFinancial is helping, but I want to also just start by saying we have a responsibility to teach our kids about personal finance. And maybe we're
Yes.
not great at it. Maybe we've struggled with it. And I'll tell you my story if you want to hear it, because I struggled with it. I'm 30 years ago, I got married very young, and I struggled in a very bad way. And it scarred me for life. I never wanted to go back to it again. But we have a responsibility to go teach our kids the most simplest concepts. I have 3 of my kids still live with me. I have one that's married, one's in college. And I love, because this is kind of kid central here on the weekends. A lot of kids are coming through here. I have a lot of high schoolers coming through here. And I get in some of the best conversations about, hey, what do you know about credit cards? What do you know about loans? What do you know about your credit score? And we just have some fun conversations. And here's what's sad. And I've got this, I live in a pretty successful community. Most of these kids have never had that conversation with their parents. And they certainly have never had that conversation in school, Vicky.
Right.
So who's going to teach them? You know what? No one is. And then they're going to go struggle in life like we have. But it's not needed. It's totally avoidable.
Yeah. And
right?
that's what I want you guys to remember. It doesn't have to be that way. And don't judge yourself. We were talking about the bully of judgment. Don't judge yourself because you didn't know. You didn't know what you didn't know.
Right.
I mean, I remember, it's funny. My parents never talked to us about it, Tim, but I remember my mom, because my dad was in the Navy, and I would love to hear your story too, because I think stories make things really relevant to people. And then they can let their guard down and go, okay, so I'm not alone. I'm not alone. My mom used to have this little accordion envelope that, when it's funny, my parents didn't go to church, but they did send us to church. And one of the little tabs in there was church. And my mom had only cash. That's all she dealt with. So, she would pull, $4 out, because we would each give $1 at church. She'd send us on the Sunday school bus. But I always watched my mom in this little cash thing. So it struck me, but they never taught us. They never told us anything. And so when I wrote the book, You're Broke, Not Broken, I think that was number like 5 or 6 in the series last year. I incorporated a piece with the little accordion envelope, because we're so used to credit that people don't even recognize that. Kind of like that old adage, oh, I didn't know I was out of money because I still had checks left. Now it's not, they don't even know what, millennials don't even know what checks are. They're like, what? This piece of plastic, it's not worn out. It should work.
Yeah, right.
And
exactly.
I think you're right. Nobody's educating them. Yeah. We need to provide that education. So go ahead and share.
Well, I just want to share this, and I know people are wanting to know about UFinancial, and I'll get into that. I'll give you the details on it. But so I'm 51. When I was 21, I got married, and I was married for 3 years, and then I remarried about 5 years after that. I have four beautiful children. I have one with my first wife. When I first got married, I knew nothing about money. I mean, and back then, think about it, 30 years ago, there was some books and there was some things you could go. There was no online. There was no internet that you could go learn about how to handle your personal finances. So you were really kind of on your own. And so what happened was my wife came from a very affluent family. I came from a very poor family. My dad was on Social Security disability as long as I can remember. My mom was a secretary at the school. So we didn't have much. And so when I got married, my ex-wife expected a certain standard of living. And that was the custom couch and the this and the that and the refrigerator and all this stuff. And we're living in this apartment, and I didn't know how to say no. Okay. And I'm not blaming her, and we've all learned a lot.
Sure.
But we got, Stanley Johnson, you remember the commercial, up to your debt,
I
up to your eyeballs in debt.
Played that now. Oh, next week. I'm writing a note. We're going to play that next week because that's fabulous. Go ahead.
That's a Lending Tree commercial that I'm sure most of you guys remember. It's about 10 years old for those of you. But yeah, he's in the riding lawnmower, and he's up to his eyeballs in debt. Well, that was me, and I was 21 years old. And I remember going to work every single day thinking to myself, you know what, how am I going to do it? It consumed every thought in the morning, during the day, at night. And I went through a divorce about 3 years ago. I was the only one working, so I got all of the debt. So that burden didn't leave me at all. And so for the next 3 or 4 years, I think I was 26, 27 years old. It took before I could pay off all the debt that I started at 21. And in today's world, I think the total was like $15,000. But back then, it seemed like $100,000. And it might have been, I mean, it was a lot, right? And I
Sure.
swore to myself that I would never go back there. And so that is my personal message on why I want to help people. It all makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I was definitely damaged back in the early 20s, and I want to go. I'm on a mission to go help that. And I run into people every single day, Vicky, that aren't necessarily up to their eyeballs in debt, but they might have 10 credit cards with an average balance of $4 to $5 or $6,000 on each one of them. They may have 2 cars. They got a student loan and they're 38 years old, and it's still $70,000. And one of the most dangerous things that I believe that you can do, unless you're absolutely needing to do it, is go through a debt consolidation program, because that's damaging to your credit. Okay. There's reasons you need to do it, but it's damaging to your credit. And you really don't learn much through that process.
Right.
You're right. You kind of
It's
give
like
it up.
sweeping it under the rug and like, okay,
Right.
I can breathe again, but we haven't learned a new
Right.
way of doing it. And then we just, a
Yep.
lot of people that file bankruptcy even 7
Yeah.
years later find themselves back in the same
That's right.
position.
That's right. And another thing that people do, Vicky, which is probably one of the biggest issues I think that we would face in personal finance, is we have equity in our home and we
Mhm.
need some money. So what do? We go refinance our house, and we think that's a really
Mhm.
good decision. And we're going to get a 0.5% off, or we're going to spend $7,000 in closing costs. But we're going to get a 0.5%, and our payment's going to go down by $88 a month. This is
Mhm.
fantastic.
Right.
But
Or like,
we do a cash out refinance, and we're going to get $30,000 taken out. You
mhm.
guys, what I'm going to tell you right now is not controversial at all. Your mortgage broker won't like it. And you're going to say, well, he's just got to be dead wrong. The reality, refinancing your house 9 times out of 10 is the worst thing you could possibly do. Let me just explain something to you. Who was the person that was on here that had 8 years left on the loan?
Anna.
Okay. So Anna, you're doing a great job. You went 20, maybe you refinanced along the way. It doesn't sound like you did. But there is an apex in loans with mortgages. Okay, most people don't know this. I'm going to just share just a little insight. Okay, on one hand, over here, when you start your loan, you're paying the maximum amount of interest you could possibly spend. Go look at your amortization schedule. If you have a $300,000 loan and your payment is $2,000, well,
Mhm.
1950 or 1900 is going toward interest. Okay, you're going to pay the maximum amount, and then over here you have your actual loan amount. Okay, that you want to see that get down as low as you can. What ends up happening is it takes about 15 or 20 years before you're actually putting more toward principal than you are interest. Okay. So think about Anna, right? It was Anna.
Anna.
Anna's doing something that most people don't do. Most people refinance 3 to 4 to 5 times by the time Anna has got to year 22.
Right.
Okay. So not only the closing costs are adding up, but here's what else happens. If I refinance my loan at year 7, just when I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit of edge, I'm getting a little bit more principal put into my home, I go refinance. Guess what I do? I hit the reset button, and it goes all the way back to month 360. That's what I've got.
Mm.
And all of it's going to interest again.
Mm.
Okay. The mortgage broker will never tell you that. And listen, I got nothing against mortgage brokers. Okay. I just bought a house just a few months ago. I got nothing against them. But if they're not disclosing that information to you, that's dangerous, because that might be the difference, Vicky, of you actually refinancing or not refinancing. Because if I
Mhm.
knew that, I'd say, wait a minute, that makes no sense. And they're going to say, well, listen, the closing costs are nominal. And guess what we're going to do? The $4,000, we're going to roll them into your loan. You
Mhm.
won't even
Yeah, I know,
feel it.
right?
You won't even
Exactly.
feel it.
You don't
You
feel
will
it?
feel it. I'm here to tell you, you will feel it, not
Mhm.
only in the cost of the loan, but the fact that you're going to reset the clock on your mortgage, you guys.
Mhm.
So I know I'm getting a little bit of a tangent, but
No, and I think the tangent is important because that's what everybody tells us to do. Cash out, refi, pay off all your debt, and then you'll start fresh. But the fact is, and I'm going to jump ahead a teeny bit just to make sure that, because I've used your program. I love this program, and it is crazy classic when you guys, many of you guys you guys put a 3 in the chat box if you're one of my regular followers. Put a 3 in the chat box for me. And you guys know I'm like the queen of consistency, right? I got everything. I got my own little charts and stuff. Tim started cracking up when we first talked to him. I'm like, I already kind of do this. I do this stuff already. Like, I'm a weirdo, right? I mean, I am. I'm an anomaly for sure. People always say that about me, right? Terry knows me, he says, but I'm glad to know that you know me, Terry. But I have all this stuff. Whoops, we lost Tim. And so I think his internet might have given out on him. So I'll extrapolate on my story until he comes back. But I've got all this, these charts and different things that can see, what's happening, when it's happening. And when I used this, the program, and it showed me like if we were going to go on a vacation, like I haven't told everybody this, but there's a chance, I've dabbled in it, but there's a chance that we're going to be moving here shortly. And so Tim, you're back. I don't know if your Wi-Fi kicked you off or what happened.
Probably. I have 5G going, but I'm not sure what happened. Okay.
I'm not sure either. All of a sudden you were just disappeared. My hands were up here talking, so I know it wasn't me.
Couldn't have been you.
Not this time. It certainly could have been earlier. But so anyway, I was just telling them how, there's a possibility that we're going to be moving soon. And, as looking at different things in this program of if we buy this mortgage, like if we spent this, if we did this, like all of a sudden my brain doesn't have to hurt anymore, because you guys have no idea how much time and energy I put into this, where most people don't even have that skill set, because it's very, it's like being a financial calculator, and coming from the bookkeeping and tax industry, I did some of that stuff, certainly not anywhere to the degree what this program is doing. And so some days when we're trying to figure stuff out, I mean, I know if you guys are like me, some days we just go, I don't know, that sounds like the best. I can't even figure it out anymore. But this is all electronic and shows you if you're going to go on a vacation, how much longer it's going to take you to be debt free. And there's a countdown calendar. Like, put a 4 in the chat box if that's really cool. It doesn't matter if it's, yours is that you're just started and you got a 30-year loan, and all of a sudden it says if you do this and it's not changing anything you've got, it's only going to take you 20. And then it says 10. And you're like 5. And you're like, yes, I want to be debt free, because don't you all want to be debt free? I mean, I'm being totally serious. Don't you want to be debt free? Like, you don't know anybody. Nobody can take your stuff. You own your house, you own your car. It's like nobody can take anything from you. Don't you put a 5 if we want to be debt free? Because I don't know if you don't want to be. I do. I just got to tell you, I want to be 100% debt free. So really quick, Anna says, Mead House is a rural area, and we were part of a pilot program between USDA and Rural Opportunities. We were given a grant, $20,000 on an $82,000 house in 97. We've had small payments, and lately it's gone up. It's a little unusual. Wow, Anna. We've not gone on vacation in 10 years. And before that, it was just a week at my in-laws' lake home. So it's long-term, modest living, hardcore. Good girl. I'm proud of you.
Right on.
Right? And everybody in there is saying 5. They want to be debt free. So Tim, talk to them. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. You talk to them about, about what it is, like what UFinancial can, the Money Max stuff. And then let's also share with them, because some of these people would probably are looking for a side hustle or an opportunity to earn income and to help themselves and maybe other people to get out of debt. Because I know nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody's a 5. Everybody wants to be out of debt. Nobody's saying, hey, could you please, I'd really like to be in debt,
Can I have some more of that, please? Yeah. More debt, please.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah. Well, so let me just jump in and tell you, I have been in the financial business for 13 years. Okay. And I have always really been on the offensive side. So think about like your personal finance. Mm-hmm. If you're going to invest money, you have a 401k, you've got a brokerage account, you want that to grow, right? Well, that's the side that I've been on, just the growth side. But if you go to your financial advisor, nothing against any of them, right, but if you go to them and say, hey, I have a debt issue, can you help me get out of debt much quicker without refinancing my mortgage or restructuring a loan? Most advisors, because I work with them every day, would look at you and go, you know what, maybe I got a Dave Ramsey book, or hey, let me just give you a couple tips. But they don't have a program that you can follow every single day, every week, every month to get yourself out of debt quicker. So that's the number one thing. When it comes to how I got involved in this, I think that's important. I literally was buying a house. An insurance agent of mine who I've worked with for 10 years came to me and said, Tim, you got to look at this. But before you do, I have a question for you. He says, do you have any debt? And I said, you know what? I'm pretty fortunate. I don't have any consumer debt, but I do have a mortgage. And he goes, how much is your mortgage? I said, $668,000.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. Do you have any, and that's a 30-year mortgage? And he said, yeah. And he goes, do you have any desire to get out of debt quicker? I said, well, sure. Sure. I mean,
Yeah,
who doesn't, right?
of
That's kind of an
course.
obvious question and my obvious answer. And he said, and I said, yeah, this is probably one of those deals where you pay twice a month or you pay an extra payment at the end of the
Right.
month. And it's
Right.
one of those. We've all heard of those. He goes, no, 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 Tim, it's nothing like that at all. I said, okay, you've got me interested. What is it? And he goes, well, if there was a way to eliminate all of your debt, in your case, you only have a mortgage, but let's say you had a student loan and you had a credit card and a car loan and all of that, we could eliminate all of that in as little as 1/2 to 1/3 of the time. Would you watch a couple videos? I said, well, sure. Send me the videos. And that's
Right.
all he said to me. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. That was it. And so I literally got the videos, and one was 13 minutes and one was 23 minutes. One was 2 minutes, 13, and the other was 13. And I sat there and I said, there's just no way this can be real. There's no way. Because it was an amazing video, and it tells
Uh-huh.
exactly how it works in terms of not maybe the details behind the scenes, but what
Sure.
it can do. And I was like really fired up. But I'm at in my office, I'm called the driller because I ask a lot of questions, right? I drill into
Uh-huh.
things.
Uh-huh.
Probably a little annoying to people that are talking to me sometimes. Um,
I think I've probably run in that category myself. Go
you're the
ahead.
driller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's good most of the time. Sometimes it's not so good. But anyway, I called up Steve and I said, listen, I work with I'm a chief marketing officer for a company. I've worked with a lot of advisors around the country. Can you get me an appointment with, there's two owners of
Uh-huh.
UFinancial, with one of the owners? And he said,
Mhm.
yeah. I was shocked at that. And he got me literally an appointment the very next day. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was gonna be like 15 minutes. I talked to
Uh-huh.
one of the owners, and it was an amazing conversation. And it
Uh-huh.
got me through any questions that I have. Now, no one else has requested a conversation with Skylar Whitman, one of the owners,
Uh-huh.
but I will tell you this. Once I heard him talk and once I did my own due diligence,
Uh-huh.
I to this day, and that was only a little bit ago,
Mhm.
I will tell you this. This is the coolest thing that I've ever seen in the financial world, bar
Mm.
none, not even close. And I've seen some
Uh-huh.
really cool stuff. I've invested in some really cool stuff. But what it does is it helps eliminate debt. And guess what? 8 out of 10 Americans have debt. 8 out of 10 Americans have some form of debt.
I'm surprised it's not 9 out of 10 for sure. I mean, I really am, because I think that must be they're including children in there, because everybody I know has some kind of debt.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from the older
Mhm.
generation
Mhm.
that they have their house paid off. They don't have credit
Mhm.
cards because they never
Mhm.
believed in them. Um,
Right.
and so basically, let me just give you kind of an overview
Sure.
of how it works. Okay. First of all, the company's been around for 15 years. It's not a new
Mm.
company. You don't have to worry about, oh, it's not going to make it.
Sure.
They've been cash flow positive for 13 of those 15 years. They have no
Mhm.
debt. Imagine that. Company that doesn't want you to have debt has no debt.
Good to know.
Yeah, they're not up to their eyeballs in debt. Um, they have close to 100,000 clients.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They have spent $19 million on research and development over this time, basically hiring the very best mathematicians. They have a computer
Mhm.
science person. They have all these people that have put this program together.
Mhm.
And in the end, when it's all said and done, this is a program that's online that
Mhm.
you enter in all of your personal finance information, all of
Mhm.
your bank accounts, it's kind of like Quicken on steroids. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I can see that.
yep. And the best thing that I can tell you, the best describe it, it's a financial GPS for the past, the present, and the future.
Okay, guys,
Quicken,
hold on. Absorb that for a minute.
yeah, let's stop and think about
Because
that.
don't we all need a financial GPS? I mean, think about that, because I mean, Tim and I are very close in age. I know I say I'm only 22, and Lorenzo was kind enough
Oh,
to say I
that's
look like I'm 18, but that we weren't taught in school what to do. I mean, I think we may have had a checkbook register somewhere in there. Like I kind of remember that, but it could have been my parents teaching me. I don't know. But yeah, yeah. Anna says so. It doesn't sound like I have to sell my blood or my firstborn.
no,
And that's good, because we weren't taught. And we have to remember this. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And that we cannot hold on to shame about that. You just don't know. But now that you do know, when you educate yourself, it's kind of in like the political climate. You guys know the shows that I've been doing. It's not about shame, it's about education. Then you get to make your own decision. We can't make informed decisions when we don't have all the info. And that's been the problem, is that we hear what's in your wallet and don't leave home without it. And then, and get these points, and we're thinking this is what we're supposed to do. That's what you do. Like my son, when he turned 18, he's like, Mom, I need an ATM card. And I wanted him to have one because he does need to, in this day and age, you have to start to build some type of credit. But I was worried. I recognized I was worried because there's no education behind a piece of plastic that seems to be a never-ending opportunity for, it's only $8 a month, $10 a month, but it's not. It's a shackle that starts indebting us instead of learning to, teach them delayed gratification. I'm not saying you guys have to do that, but just saying we need to teach other people, because I think we'd be in a different position. So go ahead and kind of fill them in quickly on that part, Tim, so we can also share the next piece before the show ends and give them a chance for some questions.
Yeah. So the financial GPS allows you to put in all of your information and then basically to set it and forget it, right? So you're going to enter in all of your information, bank accounts, all of your credit cards, your student loans. And by the way, the support at UFinancial is incredible. You get a 90-minute call with them when you first set up. It's incredible. And then once you have everything entered in there, you're going to basically follow the program. If you don't follow it, if you're on vacation, that's why it's like a GPS, right? If in a GPS, if I'm going from here to your house and I get distracted, that's okay. The GPS isn't going to say don't go to Bob's house. It's gonna reroute it, right? And that's basically how this program works. When I first was introduced to this, there's a process that is mind-blowing. I will just say that, and it's called the free savings report. And when I went through that, I learned that in my mortgage, I could save $300,000 in interest, and I could go from 30 years to 11 years.
And
not pay 30. Yeah.
Right. Mind blown.
And the beauty of that is what happens in the 12th year. Well, I don't have any debt service. I don't have that debt anymore. So what do I do with that? I build wealth with it.
Right.
And the average American in 2020 over the age of 21 has about $16,000 in total savings. That includes the millionaires, by the way. 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. So we need help paying off our debt and starting to build wealth. And that's basically what this program does.
I love that. And so you guys, if you haven't shared it out yet, share it out, because this is, like I said, this is where kind of the rubber meets the road of understanding about your financial future. Because a lot of you guys ask me questions about, should I invest in this and should I do that? And not that I'm your financial expert, but just recognizing, some value in things. And one of the things I always struggled with, and I'll be perfectly honest, is like, okay, well, I've got X amount of dollars in cash. I want to keep a certain amount of cash. I'm afraid, right? Like, especially with going on right now, I'm afraid to get rid of all my cash. Is this going to make me get rid of all my cash? But it doesn't. And you have to remember that it's designed to help you at your pace. And that's what I found kind of refreshing, because every other time someone's talked about debt reduction, like Tim said, it was like, you pay once a week or twice, or you do this or you do that. And it would help, but we also weren't tracking. So when you can't physically or see something that's a countdown, then it loses track, because it's almost like the diet when you haven't lost any weight and the ice cream's in front of you. You're like, well, it's not going to make any difference anyway. And then, like, can give me a 6. Somebody be honest and give me a 6 if you've ever done that on a diet. Like, whatever. I haven't lost any weight anyway. It's not going to make a difference. It's the same thing with the debt part. It's not going to make any difference, but this will show you, and then you get to make an informed decision. It is going to make a difference. Do you want to do it or don't you? And there's no judgment attached. It doesn't say like, okay, like your GPS and going, it doesn't say, hey, dummy, turn around.
Right. Wrong direction.
Right. It just kind of course corrects and lets you know. Thank you, Kenda. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. Anna says she's about $40,000 left on the house. A lot of the payments went to interest. Absolutely. So wouldn't it be cool, Anna, if it only took you 5 years to pay that off? And then you took that money, like Tim was saying, as debt service and started investing it, where you found, was best. And I know there's some things there too. So Tim, that I know they can do this free report, which I want to definitely drop a link in there for any of you guys that want to do this free report. But there's also an opportunity for people that aren't financial, right? That they don't like, they're sitting here going, I barely know how to balance a checkbook, or I really don't know how to balance a checkbook. There's no way I could actually do any of this kind of thing. Like, I can't help people because I don't even know what I'm doing. What would you say to them?
Well, this is the best part of it all, really, right? And by the way, little disclaimer: I realize that I've not gone into the fine details of how the program works and how you get it.
Right.
You guys, we'll just send you the videos and you can watch it. The videos will do a much better job than I'll be able to explain anyway. But it's not magic; it's math, and it works, and it's been working for 15 years. The best part about this, to me, when I first heard about it, was the opportunity. Okay, because I've been in sales and marketing and management for 30 years, 28 years. And everything that I've done has been really cool, but I'm going against the grain, you guys. I mean, on everything that I've done in sales, it's not swimming downstream. There's it's sales. That's why it's sales. This, you have 8 out of 10 people that need your product. Because think about it right now. How many people do you know right now have debt? And how many people do you know that want to get rid of their debt quicker than they could do on their own?
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Sorry, that was me trying to get back
That's
in.
Okay. Can everybody hear still? Was I still?
Yeah, you only like a fraction of a second that I was like, it was like a peekaboo is what it was.
Peekaboo. That's good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So basically, if you have people that you know in your network of friends and family and coworkers that have debt, and like you said earlier, 90%, 80% people do, and you can help them. And see, I'm a big helper. I love to help people do things that they can't maybe do on their own. If you're that type of person and you want to introduce this in a very simple way, like literally asking those 2 questions, all you got to do is send them an email with a video in it. And if they're interested in learning more, guess what we want to do? We want them to get their number. Does everybody remember the ING commercials? They're probably 7, 8, 9 years old. But the ING commercial was everybody's walking around New York and they've got these big numbers and they're orange and it's their retirement number, right?
Didn't they have circles over their head or something?
That was a different one. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but same kind of concept, right? Well, the problem with that is if my number is 1.5 million and I have $1 million worth of debt, that's not really a good number, 1.5.
Right.
So we're on a mission, and we want all of you to be on a mission. If you would accept the challenge, I guess, is to help people know what their debt number is. And I don't mean just their total debt. I mean their debt plus interest, because that's the real number, right?
Real debt.
The real debt number. It's not just their total debt. I owe $668,000 on my loan. Well, guess what? If I go 30 years, I'm going to owe another $400,000 on my loan. So now I'm at 1.1. So that's really important. And the program with UFinancial has a really easy way to explain it. So you, as from an opportunity standpoint, can be a referral source, okay, and do split commissions with everybody that you're basically that's helping you sell it. And that might be all you want to do. You just want to help and introduce it, and then you're done. Okay, split commission. Or you can actually roll up your sleeves and say, you know what, I really want to help, and go through this fairly easy process. You don't need a license. This is available in all 50 states, and you don't need to be a financial expert. You're not giving financial advice. Okay, you're not breaking any laws by giving any advice. You're selling a program that can help people eliminate their debt.
And this is what I want to help you guys understand, because as a business consultant and as you guys know, a trainer in the direct sales industry, that most people are worried, and this is the Do You Neo show, right? Need extra opportunities. Are you struggling? I mean, are you struggling financially, or are you just, maybe you're doing fine, but you'd love to get out of debt a little faster. Maybe you want to have this side hustle, but people, they get nervous and they start to go, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And then, instead of, asking some questions like, hey, would you be able to help me? Or, do you see any value in me being able to do this? Do you think I could? Then we stop ourselves in our tracks. Like and this one, if this is what you're saying, I'm not a good salesperson, right? I hear that all the time. We don't want to know if you think you're a good salesperson. We want to know if you have debt and you want to get out. Either way, like I said, for both sides of the program will help you. Number two, do you want to help other people? Most people that are part of my tribe that know me, we are, birds of a feather and we flock together. We want to help people. We're part of that kind of, because people that don't want to help people, they just don't like my vibe, because my vibe is a helping vibe, right? They just don't. And that's why I always say people either love me or they hate me. So if you love me, if you're here, you probably like me at least, right? And so you probably are part of that tribe. So put a 7 in the chat box if you were part of the I want to help other people. I want to help myself and I want to help other people tribe. Because, and I heard that Gerald was here. I don't see him because you guys, if you don't put your name in the chat, I know you're here, but I cannot see you and I cannot say hello. But Fraser, I see you're here. I see a lot of our regular friends here, but you guys know Marsha. Yeah, Marsha wants to help people. We want to help people. And, so I have a question for you. If, and you guys, if you've read of Direct Selling 101, you know this question, but I want to ask you anyway. Thanks, Melanie. You're definitely a helper. If we could show you how to help other people without you feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, or uncomfortable, would you want to give it a try? Now, I want you to answer that. You don't have to answer it in the chat, but I want you to answer it for yourself. If we could show you how to do this without you feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, or feeling like, ooh, that it's something you couldn't do, would you want to give it a try? And the fact is, like, I don't care one way or the other. What I do care about is you putting up the barrier to yourself of becoming financially free, or, whether it's your own debt or helping other people, because that one of the bullies was infecting you, right? With the not enough syndrome. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. Nobody take me seriously, and we start allowing the bullies to shrink who we are, when inside we want to be the best version of us. We want to say, wait a minute. Yes, I want to help people. Yes, I want to help myself, but I'm too embarrassed or too stressed out, right? I'm too embarrassed or overwhelmed, or I don't believe in myself. So that's what I wanted to kind of, bring to the table today, and remind you guys that you are enough just the way you are. And that there are people like Tim here that's willing to help. And like I said, Tim's the sponsor of this new series, right? Of the Do You Neo series. And, Tim showed Terry and I the program as we were talking about having them be the sponsor, and Terry added this to his practice. So, as a financial planner and someone who's been helping people protect with Legal Shield, he's adding that in, and he's helping people, because most people are embarrassed about where they are. And I want to remind you guys, don't be, right? Absolutely don't be. I don't care if you're living under a tent under the freeway. Own where you are and move forward. And that's who we need to be. And so, let us know if we can help with that part yet. And I'd love to know if you guys have some questions. I'm going to drop a link in for you guys to get the free financial report. And then I'm also, if you guys haven't, and Anna says, I'm somewhere between overwhelmed and numb. You know what? And that's okay. That's a really super fair, I think it's a very descriptive place too, Anna. I know you're smart, and I know that you care about people with a passion, because you and I have had conversations back in the day about your passion for people. And so, recognize that this could be your chance. I don't know if it's for you or not, but if you have debt, you should at least take a look at getting yourself out of debt. And if you want to help other people get out of debt, or other people, you can also just refer them as well, because again, getting out of debt is like one of probably the best gifts you could give people. I mean, have we put an 8 in the chat box if you've heard or know someone that has tried to commit suicide or has unfortunately been successful? Many, many, many of those cases have to do with finances. And they also have to do with a lack of a self-esteem, of recognizing your internal value has nothing to do with your external circumstances, right? And I want you guys to hold on to that as well. Anna says, I forget that inclination sometimes. And again, that's where we're bringing awareness and, and that value. So we have about 10 minutes left, you guys. I'm going to, or Terry, if you want to, I think it's the Money Max link. I'll drop that in there, because I think that's where they get the free report, right, Tim?
Yeah, we would basically send a couple of videos, get educated on it, and then Terry could set up a free savings report for him. Yeah.
Okay, so for them to get the information, would it be sending a link to the thing where they can download the book? What should their next step be?
Really, I think reaching out to you and say that there
Okay.
is an interest, and maybe
Okay.
maybe describe the interest if it's just learning about the program or both. And
Okay.
Terry does have a great email that he can send that has some videos in there. Of course, none of this is all of it's just no obligation. We want to get the word out there. If you
Mm-hmm.
like it, we can continue that conversation. But yeah, there's emails Terry has that he can send out.
So, and your Anna says, thanks for reminding me, Vicky. I think we all need reminders of our value. I think that some people that are watching the replay, feel free to also reach out again, no matter what channel. Periscope doesn't allow you guys to do that. Well, not exactly the direct message. So you want to definitely go to Facebook, any of those platforms, or the person that invited you here today, to listen. Every week we're going to have new tips on being debt free and different stuff. We're also going to have tips and opportunities to give you guys more advice on how you can, like I said, this is not, the Do You Neo show is about giving you different and new opportunities to learn different things, but we want to know what you want to know, and I see a bunch of great questions over here. Stacy says, I'm curious about helping others get out of debt. I'm so blessed. I learned this stuff from Lorelei Langemeyer. Oh, that's awesome. Who I worked for in her early 2000s when I had loads of debt. Hitting this pandemic debt free is such an amazing blessing. Amen to that, Stacy, because most people can't say that, right? Anna wants to watch the videos. Kenda wants information on the program. Stacy said she's an 8. Hey, Stacy Lynn, welcome to the broadcast. So we have, just like I said, so much impact. Pop your questions in there. Tim, what else would you want to tell them? Do you think there's, something of value of helping people either with that money mindset or motivation? What would you tell them in the last few minutes here?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining this. It's probably been closer to 45 minutes or an hour. That means a lot that you've joined us. It means you care. It means you're wanting not only to help people, but you're looking for an opportunity. And I think this definitely can do both of these things. I think the thing that struck me the most, because the first thing people will ask about when it comes to the program is, well, how legitimate is it? Has it been? Well, yes. Let's talk about that just for a second, because I think that's important, right?
Sure.
Company's been around for 15 years, but one thing that happened in 2008 is they won an Entrepreneur of the Year award by Ernst & Young. Everybody's heard about the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur Award.
Right.
Okay, maybe you don't know all the companies that get it, but there's a number of companies that get that every year. The fact that they got that meant that they were in front of 50 business people that basically scrutinized their company and their program, and they won this award. So they don't just give those things out at the street corner, right? So to me, that meant everything, because I've been in business for a long time, and I've worked for a lot of companies, none of which have Ernst & Young award.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And then to fast forward in terms of the opportunity for those that are saying, gosh, you know what, it seems like a good opportunity, but how can I really help? We have been able to get people into the program from the opportunity standpoint, and literally all they're doing is they're introducing it, and they can hand it off, or they can kind of side saddle with the person that's working with them and learn it. We had actually a person not too long ago that had gone through 7 different training sales before they flew solo. It's kind of like, the airplane, right? They had a lot of training, and then when they finally did it, they were successful and made that sale. You only need to do 2 with somebody else. This person chose 7. That's okay. That's completely okay. So if you're interested in helping people, if you're interested in the program for yourself, I would just encourage you to reach out and learn more about it. It's not going to hurt at all.
And by the way, if some of you guys, if you already are debt free, I know they have some great information and great videos on what to, like investment opportunities and different things. So remember that though there's information available. I can also recommend some books and stuff for you, but keep in mind that even though you happen to be that, that kind of unicorn where you are different than most people, there are lots of people around you that might not be in that same position. And your wisdom and your ability to share that with them might be the difference in what's going on with them. So we are going to have a drawing in a minute, you guys. And so if you have not registered yet, you can go to vickifitch.com/doyouneo, or you can go to Do You Neo. I'm putting it in the chat, doyouneo.com/register. And I will be drawing a name in the next couple minutes. You need to do it right now. And this basically lets you have the reminders each week, that each Thursday that we're going on at 11:30. And you can also give feedback. Like I said, I have a way I don't know if it's next week or the week after, electronics, how you can get money for all the electronics that are sitting around your house that you didn't even know you could get money for. It's actually some really good money. We've got some things on how to, from Dinesh, who missed his episode last week, on how to utilize social media platforms so you can make money doing that. We also have someone that teaches you how to do. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's called book flipping. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's pretty amazing that people are making money from home. So this is the Do You Need Extra Opportunity show, and we're here to deliver value in multiple areas. But our sponsor of UFinancial will be giving us tips and tricks each week on finances, on money, on those kind of things, so we can continue to work with that. Melanie says, if I've been registered from before, do we have to do it again? You do, Melanie, because it's a different link. It's a different tag internally, because those people that aren't registered now aren't going to keep getting the reminders from here. I put them in here, but it's www.doyouneo.com/register or vickifitch.com/doyouneo, but they are up in the chat. If you've been let's see, I popped it open in Safari. Thanks, Anna. I know, Kenda. I think, I can't remember. It's in the next few weeks. Book flipping. People are making a lot of money. I was like, really? So it's kind of cool, the things that you can do that you don't think about. Because remember, we only know what we know. And if you asked me what a book flipping was, I would I have no freaking ideas what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then you find out other people are making money at it, and it's a legit way we're not bringing some weird get rich quick schemes, to you. These are all people that I know, and that people are actually producing money from it. Oh, Stacy says she knows, and it's really easy. So there you go. We already have a testimonial, from that stuff. Here, I'll put it again. Stacy, it's Do You Neo, which stands for needextraopportunities.com. No, they're not they're not first editions. You probably could do those too, but I don't think I'd flip those. I think you could get a lot more money than you could flipping a book. I'm going to go over there in just 1 minute. Do you guys have any other questions for Tim? Oh, Stacy says, I flip books and I've made close to $1,000 doing it. See, there you go. That's cool. What I'm saying. It's like things I know, Anna, right? I didn't know either what the heck book flipping was, but we have the founder of a book flipping company that's going to give you guys tips and tricks and an opportunity to get started right away. And like I said, that's what and if you know ways to make money that are, like I said, legitimate and quick and easy, send me some info, or even things that might take a little bit more time. We'll introduce them on the show. We're here to deliver value no matter where you're at. And I also, like I said, as I'm about to go pull the winner from whoever has registered, I want to remind you guys that you have so much at your fingertips, right? You have access to things and people, and you've got to start remembering your value. I look at some of the things that I get, these messages that I get, and right now people are feeling stressed and overwhelmed. They've experienced, they've just experienced so many things of disappointment and fear. And when we let that stuff go and say, okay, I got this. I'm smart. I know people that care. I know people that will lead and direct. And, in Direct Selling 101, I talk about what's called training in tandem, right? Is that you're not alone. When you start a business or an opportunity that we bring you someone that's leads and guides you, you're not alone. You are, this is your opportunity to invest in yourself and become the best version of you. You learned about it on TikTok. That's great, Stacy. Actual books, the paper things with pages. Those are the ones, Stacy. Those are the ones. Tim, you tell them anything else. I'm going to pull these up really quick and see who.
Well, yeah, as you're reading those, I just want to also mention to all of you, because it's a question that comes up, is what kind of support do you get when you join a team like ours? And listen, we're basing everything we do off of world-class support, service, response time. That's what it's really all about. And my history if you ever want to talk to me just individually, I could tell you a little bit more about what I've done and what we've done as a company. That's what it's been all about, just doing the right thing all of the time. And that includes not only recruiting agents, but training them and supporting them and servicing them, giving them everything to automate and duplicate their business so that they can have a successful business, not having to worry about all the back office stuff. We'll worry about that for you. So I just want to make sure I mention that.
Excellent. Okay, guys, let's see if you have any more questions. People are Stacy, I read every day, girlfriend. So we absolutely are. And it is 12:30 now. We want to remind you that these lunch and learns are designed for you guys to be able to kind of eat lunch. I know it's a little later for people that are on the East Coast. It's a little, it's average time for people here on the West Coast. Many of you guys are my international audience. So if you're watching the replay, make sure you share this out. Make sure you also register because you will be in on the drawings for next time. I'm going to pick our winner right now. Tim, what I need you to do is pick me a number from 1 to 32.
Oh, boy. Pressure's on.
It's all on you, man.
I'm going to say 14. 14.
Number 14. Okay, Melanie Weiser. Melanie, congratulations. Good for you, Mel. And Melanie says she's a book addict. So Melanie, I know you already have, I was going to send a Vic the Bully in your head because we were talking about it, but I know you already have it. So I will find another book or I will find I'll find something to send you, girlfriend. And you guys, please be sure to get registered. Let us know what kind of stuff you want on the next one. Tim, thank you so much for being here and giving people this opportunity. PM me, you guys, if you are interested in getting some information. I will have you connect with Tim or Terry or whoever it is, and you just registered too. Awesome. That's great, Melanie. Well, see, Tim picked the right number.
There you go.
You just registered. So good for you. And so, like I said, thank you guys for being here. I will be gone, you guys, until Monday. We're going to actually look for some property to do some more of that investing, but I will be back with my 11:30 a.m. show on Monday, and Thursdays will be Do You Kneel, but we'll be doing the show right now for the next at least a little while. I'm going to do it during the day because I heard from you guys that was best for you. I heard it's not for Melanie, but Mel, thanks for being here anyway. You guys are an amazing group of people. We're going to help you get out of debt. We're going to help you find the opportunities you need to make money, to feel feel safe and secure in what's going on. And remember, right? I always tell you guys this, but I want you to remember that your internal value has nothing to do with your external circumstances. Don't be ashamed of where you're at. Evict the bullies from your head. Replace it with the headspace heroes. And like I was telling you guys now, see, Tim is he's like our debt crushing hero, superhero. That's what we're going to call him. We're going to call him #debt crusher right there. This is our debt crushing superhero. And I appreciate you looking at you guys, we it looks like we might be moving. So, I'll be telling you guys a little bit more about that later, but I'm going to Las Vegas this week. We're going to Palm Springs. We're going to a few different areas for some lakefront property and a couple other things. So anyway,
don't forget Dallas.
I know. And Dallas is not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. We're also looking in Georgia. We've been looking in Tennessee. I know my life's about to go cray because I'm a California girl since, for many years. Anyway, you guys are fantastic. Send me a PM. I will see you guys here on Monday at 11:30 a.m. And until next time, I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao. Tim, say bye to everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Talk to you soon.